So this morning I'll give you 3 of the pearls from Expect to Win, and I also want to thank Morgan Stanley and the United Way for making sure that each of you have a copy of my latest book, Strategize to Win, which will really help you to get started in your career or redirect yourself or reposition yourself in your career. And then I will close, as I said, with the power of philanthropy and really understanding that transition from success to significance. So let's get started. The first pearl, and it is the most important thing that I learned after over 2.5 decades on the street. So do not be fooled if you read Expect to Win and you see that it is chapter 4, because it is the most important thing that I learned, and that is perception is the co-pilot to reality. How people perceive you will directly impact how they deal with you. If you remember nothing else about our time together this morning, remember that you can train people to think about you in the way that you want them to think about you. And how do you do that? You pick 3 adjectives that you would like people to use to describe you when you are not in the room. And why do I say when you're not in the room? It's because all of the important decisions about your career will be made when you are not in the room. Pick 3 adjectives that are absolutely consistent with who you really are, because I'm a big fan of the authenticity point. Nobody can be you the way that you can be you. It is your distinct competitive advantage. The 3 adjectives that are absolutely consistent with who you really are, the 3 adjectives that are valued in your organization, where they intersect is how you must behave consistently if you want to train people to think about you in a certain way. It is consistent behavior around those 3 adjectives. 5 to 6 years into my career, I had a very senior managing director say to me, you know, you're smart, you work hard, but I don't think you're tough enough for this business. Now, my first reaction was, what is he smoking? You can call Carla Harris a lot of things, but ain't tough ain't one of them. So after I got that feedback, I made a decision. I said, okay, I know what I'll do. For 90 days, I decided I would walk tough, talk tough, eat tough, drink tough, use tough in my language, because it's important that if you want to train people to think about you in a certain way, you must have consistent behavior around those 3 adjectives. And you must use this language in your environment, particularly when you are talking about yourself. The second pearl that I want to leave you with this morning is, if you consider yourself a leader in the 21st century, you must be comfortable taking risks. You must be comfortable taking risks. 15 years ago, you could create a competitive differential for yourself if you had information that other people didn't have. But today, information is a commodity. So the way that you differentiate yourself in any environment is to show that you are comfortable taking risks, because it says to the marketplace that you are comfortable with change. And change is one of the guarantees that you will have in your life. But as I've traveled around over the last 6 or 7 years, particularly during the financial services crisis, all I heard as I traveled around this country was, oh, don't take any risks. Don't take any risks. Just keep your head down. Don't rock the boat. You know, 8% unemployment, now 5.3% unemployment. We're having our second restructuring, our third reduction in force. Just keep your head down. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, keeping your head down will not keep you from getting shot. So as I like to say, you might as well keep your head up so you can see the bullet coming. No. I say that in jest, because what I'm really trying to tell you is that whenever we are in tough economic environments and everybody else is besieged with fear and everybody else is ducking, you have clear vision. You have clear vision to see the opportunities. It's exactly those kinds of environments where you can markedly accelerate your success. Keeping your head down is not the right thing to do, because keeping your head down means you submerge your voice, and your voice is at the heart of your power. And anytime you submerge your voice, you become irrelevant. And when you become irrelevant, you put a big target on the front and a big target on the back. It's these kinds of environments where you should say, oh, I know that we're trying to preserve our profitability. I have 2 ideas about how we should do that. We're trying to cut costs. I have a couple of ideas around that. We now have 2 people doing the same job that 8 people were doing. That sounds like a process redesign. I'd like to take that on. Translation to management, wow, she's not worried about the layoffs. He's not worried about losing his job. She's trying to put points on the board. He's trying to move the ball down the field. She is a keeper. And the final pearl that I want to leave you with is the authenticity pearl. As I said earlier, nobody can be you the way that you can be you. The day that you had your current opportunity presented to you, you were the best person for the job. So the last thing that you should ever do is to submerge that which is uniquely you. Ladies and gentlemen, your authenticity is at the heart of your power. And it is at the heart of powerful, impactful, influential leadership. It is your distinct competitive advantage. And as I close, I leave you with this thought. It is one thing, as I said earlier, for each of us to have success in our own right. It is important that you have goals and you have objectives, and it is important that you reach them because it's important to you personally because you wanted to do it, and it's also inspirational for those who are around you to see you do it because sometimes it's just being a witness, just being a bystander to someone else succeeding that inspires somebody else, that motivates them, that gives them the confidence that they can do it too. But once you have obtained the success in whatever that looks like, success this month, success this quarter, success this year, it is then about spreading that and multiplying that and creating a multiplier effect with your life. And the way that you do that is through your philanthropic efforts. The way that you take your life from success to significance is defining your purpose and extending that purpose on behalf of other people every single opportunity that you have. Some days it could be just as simple as saying, you know what, you can do that. I know you're trying, but I'm telling you, I've been there too, and you and me, we can get that done. I believe in you, and I know you can get that done. And sometimes it may be writing that $15,000 check. But whatever it is, every time you have the opportunity, extend it. And watch how fast your power will grow. A song is not a song until you sing it. A bell is not a bell until you ring it. Power was not put in your hand to stay. Power isn't power until you give it away. Thank you.